Hello, and welcome back to my Q&A video series about the pandas library in Python. And the question for today is, how do I explore a pandas series? Okay, so let's start as always by importing pandas as PD. And then we need an example data set. And we're going to use a data set of movies, top-rated movies from the IMDb website. So we'll say movies equals pd.read.csv, and we'll pass the bit.ly URL bit.ly/IMDb ratings. Okay. And let's take a look at the head. And we see that each row is a movie and some information about that movie. Okay. Let's take a look at the D types, the data type of each column. And we're going to be focusing on two columns today. One is genre, which is an object column, which usually means string, but not always. It does in this case. And then duration, which is an integer column. It's the duration of each movie in minutes. All right. So we're going to start with genre, and then we'll move on to duration. So the first thing you might do with a non-numeric column like genre, movies.genre, is to describe it. Okay. So we've seen the describe method before. It's not only a data frame method, it's also a series method. Okay. So .describe. And this shows us the count of non-null values in that series, the number of unique values in that series, 16, the most common value in that series, which is drama, and the frequency of that most common value. So out of the 979 non-null values, 278 of them were drama. Okay. So that's useful, but it kind of leaves us wanting more. So I'm going to show you something similar that provides a lot more information, which is the value counts method. So we'll say movies.genre.value counts. And I use this all the time. It shows us a count of each value and how often it appears in this series. So drama, which we saw above, appears 278 times in this series, comedy 156 times, and so on. Okay. Now, one cool modification you can make to this is you can say movies.genre.value counts normalize equals true, and that actually just turns these raw counts into percentages. So 28% of the movies in this genre series are of type drama. Okay. Now, one thing I really like about pandas is that very often series and data frame methods output new series and data frame objects. Okay. So for example, if we check the type of this, okay, we will see that the output of value counts is itself a series. And as a result, you can use a series method like head. Okay. You can use any series method on it you like. And this is just useful to know about pandas in general, that every time you run a method, think to yourself, what other data frame and series methods do I already know that I might like to chain onto the end of this command? Okay. All right. I'm going to show you a couple more methods before we move on to duration. So we're going to say movies.genre.unique. And that allows us to see what are all the unique values in this series. And as well, we can do movies.genre.n unique. to see the number of unique values in the series. There are other ways to get these pieces of information from pandas, but these are some nice, convenient methods for doing so. Okay. Finally, let's do a cross-tabulation. So pd.crosstab, and we can pass it two different series, and we'll say movies.genre and movies.content rating. Okay. And this allows us to see a tally, a count of how many movies belong to each combination of genre and content rating. So there are, for instance, 44 action movies that are rated PG-13 in this data set. Okay. All right, let's move on to duration. So this is a numeric column, and let's just say movies.duration.describe. Okay, so describe is a series method that also works on numeric columns, and we'll see a variety of, we'll see a summary of some statistics about it. For instance, the mean, the minimum, the max, the median, and so on. Okay. We might just want to pull out one of these statistics, such as the mean, and in that case, we just say movies.duration.mean, and we get out this 120 value that we saw up here. Okay, so there are lots of different calculations available as series methods that you can use for numeric columns. Now, you could also use value counts. So movies.duration.valueCounts. And if you're confused by what this result is telling you, it's saying that there are 23 movies with duration 112 minutes and 22 movies with duration 113 minutes, and so on. Okay, so probably not the most useful method in this case, but you could imagine that if you had categorical data that was represented as integers, then a value counts might be useful. Otherwise, I mostly use value counts with object columns. Okay. All right, as always, we're going to end with a bonus, and this bonus is to do some visualization. So if you want to do visualization in an IPython notebook, you need to say %matplotlib inline. That allows plots to appear in the notebook. And we'll do two different plots. One is movies.duration. And if we want to plot this, you can actually just throw on .plot at the end of the series, and then you tell it the kind of plot you want. So if we wanted to see a histogram, that's all it takes. This is a histogram of the durations. A histogram just shows you the distribution of a numerical variable, a single numerical variable. Okay. Another plot that might be interesting is, let's take a look again at movies.genre.valueCounts. And you could actually represent this as a plot really simply. So we just say .plot kind equals bar, and we get a nice bar plot representation of this. Okay. So there's a lot more we could say about visualization. That'll be coming in some future videos. There are tons of customizations you can do to these plots as well to make them look and display exactly what you need. All right. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, please click subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Let me know in the comments section below if you have a comment or a question. And that's it. So appreciate it, and I hope to see you again soon.